Okay everybody, in this video we are going to learn how to use radio buttons, checkboxes, and text area. Okay? And we're going to use all three of these to make a survey form, like a school survey form. Alright, so here we go. And alright, so we're going to first get our form going. So we have the form tag, our method, we're going to use post, and our action, we are going to, we're going to send all the information to my script on my web page, my website. Alright, so here we go. Let me just scoot this over a bit. And okay, there we go. So here's our form. It has the method and the action. So actually, let's use get. Why not? Really doesn't matter. Okay. And then of course, so we're going to put our form controls in a table. And then just remember, notice how I'm indenting things so you know what's inside of what. Alright, so our first question we're going to have in our survey is going to be a regular single line input. Alright, something you guys know already. So let's just ask, what is your name? Alright, and we'll have a regular input. Type text, name is name, because we're collecting a name. So here we got over here, name. Alright, so that's our first thing. You guys know that already, but it's a good question to start with. Now, I'm going to copy this row and paste it, and my next question. What grade are you in? Okay, so this time instead of using a text box, we're going to give them choices to choose. So here's how we do that. I am going to use radio buttons. So here's what it is. They're inputs. The type is radio. Let's see, name, so I guess we could put grade. And then you need a value. So our value, let's say 12. That'll be for seniors. Or senior, I guess, right? Okay, so let's see here, senior. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this since it's beautiful. And I will paste 4 of them. Oh, I guess 3 more. 4 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So they're all going to have the same name because you're only going to be allowed to check one of them. That's how a radio button works. You can pick one. The values will change. So 12, 11, 10, 9. And the text next to it will change. So junior, 12th, sophomore, freshman. Alright, and we don't need this last break because there's nothing under it. Okay, so over here, here's our radio button. So if you pick sophomore, it'll only let you pick one. Alright, and usually when you have a set of radio buttons, you want to have one checked by default. So let's check senior by default. So here's how you do that. You checked equals checked. Okay, and that makes senior check as soon as the form starts. It's like the initial default selection. Okay. Alright, so those are radio buttons. Radio buttons, you use those if you want to give people options and they can only choose one thing because you're not going to be in more than one grade. Alright, Next thing we're going to do is what happens if you want to have people select more than one thing, choose more than one thing. Alright, so let me copy this row, paste, and let's ask the question, what classes do you like? Alright, and I'll delete these guys for now. Oops. Alright, so this time instead of radio, we're going to use checkbox. And our name, so this, for these checkboxes, they're each going to have their own name because you can check more than one. So I'm going to put class 1 for this. And the value, let's say we have, math. The value, and we don't need it checked initially, and we'll just put math here. Math. Alright, so here's a checkbox. This is what it looks like. Alright, and let's copy that and paste 5 more of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all have to have different names, so I'm going to go down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 through 6. And then see what classes we can come out with. Science, Science, English, let's see here, history, how about web design? Of course, that has to be there. Web design. And then the last one, art. I'm sure I'm forgetting some class, but alright. And then the last one doesn't need a break because there's nothing under it. And let's see here. Okay, so let's make web design checked by default. Because why not? Checked equal checked. Okay, so here's our survey so far. You can enter your name. You can select what grade you're in. You can choose all the classes you like. Maybe you like all of them. Maybe you like none of them. Maybe you only like all my class. Alright, so those are, radio buttons if you can only let you choose one. Checkboxes let you pick more than one. Alright, and then the last thing I want to show you guys is a text area. So let's add another row. And paste. So this time our question will be, why do you like the classes that you chose? Alright, and then I don't need any inputs. This time it's not an input, this is different. The text area is different than an input. We're going to, maybe the person that's going to answer this is going to write 3 paragraphs on why they chose the classes they chose. So we're going to use a text area, which is like a multi-line text field. So instead of using like an input with the type equal text like up here, like this guy, we're going to use a text area. So here's what text area looks like. It looks a little different. Text area. Alright. It has an opening and a closing tag because you can have, initial text here. And of course you need to give it a name. So I guess our name will be maybe reason, the reason they chose the classes. And then we really don't need an initial text. Okay, so here's our text area. So it can be big, fill it with lots and lots of text. Alright. Last thing we need, another row for the button. And notice everything is nicely indented. You can see what's inside of everything. Everything's neat. That's what you guys should be doing. Alright, so let's see. We need a submit button, so I'll just empty that. And input type submit value. What should it say? How about submit survey? There. Alright, so everything should be great. Let's try it out. What's my name? Bobby. What class am I in? I'm a sophomore. I like history, web design, and art. And why did I choose them? Those are the best teachers in the school. And hit submit. And here's all the information that went through. Name is Bobby. Grade 10. Class 4, 5, and 6 have been checked. And the reason? Those are the best teachers in the school. Alright, great. So that is how you use radio buttons, checkboxes, and the text area.